Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the blockchain.
Now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like the Brown James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. The field's not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum NFTs. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Freaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, miny, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the drive with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
GM, welcome to Coffee with Captain. Happy Friday, everyone. Shout out to Thomas and Web3 Warhead, Absolute Zero over in the YouTube chat. We are live on YouTube as well as Abstract. Our faith in Abstract's been renewed after yesterday. I appreciate the team coming on and joining us. Sorry for the echo. One of these days I'll get down how to do this properly without you guys getting that YouTube background in the background. Or YouTube replay in the background. I don't know. Haven't had enough coffee yet this morning. Bear with me. It's a Friday morning. Happy Friday to all. I just saw, I'm not going to say who, but one of the comments just reminded me, we got a special treat for everyone. We're going to kick off next Friday. I have to look at the calendar here to get my dates correct because we are going to continue doing our Community Member of the Month here on Coffee with Captain. To participate in that, you're going to want to make sure that you are subscribed over on YouTube. Just head over. Actually, I'll make it easy. I'll grab the link for you all and drop it up top. That's actually what I was doing. That's why you heard the background music. I was grabbing that link. I will drop it in the chat and pin it up top here in a second. But yes, if you want to participate in the Community Member of the Month, make sure you've headed over to YouTube. Give this video a like and subscribe while you're over there. YouTubers win on Fridays. I don't know what it means, but they say it's provocative. So let me grab that link. It is up top. But now head over to YouTube, give us that like, and we greatly appreciate it. GM, it is Friday. Teacher Katie over in the Abstract chat as always. I'll pin that up top as well, and we'll get rolling here. Any good cold? I guess I could go March Madness for cold open. My Buckeyes lost. That was the only. As I did I do have actually important cold open topic. There was an X update. I downloaded it on both the phones right before the show. It's one of the updates to, sometimes it if you open up App Store and you search X, and then it'll usually if there's an update, it says update instead of saying open. But this is one where it says it shows open still. You got to click X and then it shows the update. I don't know why they do that. It's different from time to time, but it is. If you just go to the first, after you search X, it looks like there isn't an update available. You actually have to click through and then you can get the update. But there is a new update today. So maybe as we're warming things up, as we're in the quote open here, if you think you might be wanting to jump on, or if you're having any issues, you probably won't hear this if you're having any issues with X. But if you do think you might want to join the stage at some point here on the X audio space, go get the X update now. Make sure you're on the current version. That is one of the things we've identified when we get some glitches, when we have some trouble with guest speakers. If they are not on if we're not on the same version of X, it creates issues typically. Now, maybe things have changed, but historically that has been the issue. I jinxed myself because as I was saying that, I tried to kick the co-host invite to the Coffee with Captain account. Did not work. It booted it from the stage. So that issue remains. They didn't fix that with the latest update. I don't know what was fixed, although I will say the new the new DMs chat icon is new. It is evolved. That's the first thing I noticed with this recent update, at least on mobile. They changed how that chat icon looks. Happy Friday, George. Oh, and we have the dislike button now. I almost hit the dislike button on the, at least on mobile, we have dislike button. So you got like and dislike now baked into this new update. George or Jorge, I am looking forward to, I'm not going to dox your location, but looking forward to an in real life coffee or lunch here in the near future. But yeah, help me. Is it George or Jorge? I hope you don't mind me asking. And it is a sign of endearment and affection here if I mispronounce your name. Hopium, so it looks like we got some AI in the chat. Nice video. Is that I'm guessing that's a Grok video. Suyin and Sean, great to see you back there. Mubarak, I'm not sure what that is. It is, I think, some holiday today, maybe end of Ramadan. Does that sound right? I'm not well versed on the all the holidays, but I saw Google told me there was some holiday, so I do think it's last day of Ramadan, or maybe that was last night. Trying to get. I thought I had it down with the knocking out the. So weird. I just can't even explain how. Like, yes, X update, but apparently was not one. None of the updates fixed X or fixed audio spaces. Wife, Jorge says, wife says Jorge when she doesn't need anything. When she's mad, she says George. That's funny. No one calls me Christopher. I don't even think anyone here knows my middle name. Maybe that'll be our quote open. That's our quote open question of the day. I got 100 bonus points. Can anyone guess my middle name? I will give a hint in about 30 seconds. If anyone gets it right off the bat, I would be super impressed. I really don't think I've ever shared it before. But I will give a hint. My first name and middle name. This is probably going to give it away. If you're a Superman fan, this next hint will give it away. Because I really don't think I've ever shared it out loud. But my first name and middle name are the names of two different Supermans. Can anyone guess what my middle name is? But where I was going with that is no one ever uses my full name, Christopher, except for my mother. When I got in trouble as a kid, she would yell my first and middle name combined. It's probably a common theme, at least in a. Michael is not my middle name. Good guess. That'd be cool if it was. If Michael was my middle name, Maria, I might have went by my middle name as a kid during the Michael Jordan prime. I might have just went with Michael Jordan. It is not Stephen. It is not Charles. It is not Clark. You're close. You're close, but it's not Clark Kent. The actors who played Superman. Now I'm really giving away. It's not Edward, although I know I've told this story before. Maybe the weirdest, oddest compliment I've ever gotten in my life. I was walking on a beach, I think in Destin, Florida, not Henry. I was walking on a beach, and this is like peak of the Twilight. Twilight all-time highs. Like Twilight was everywhere. Yeah, Von Frunten got it. Twilight was not Clint. Von Frunten got it in the War Room. I'll share it in the other chats here in a minute. Peak of Twilight, and I'm walking on a beach in Destin, Florida, and this lady who looked like leather, like her probably lady in her 70s maybe, and like she had been on the beach out in the sun without sunscreen for the last 40 years every day of her life. Like human skin instead of skin, it was replaced with leather. To each their own. I just like, and I am a very my natural skin tone is about the shade of this hoodie. And she comes running up to me and she says, "Oh my goodness, your skin is beautiful. What sunscreen do you use? You are so perfectly pasty." And if it wasn't for, and then like at the time, some of my, and I've never I've gotten, when pre-beard younger, I would occasionally get like the Matthew Broderick from Ferris Bueller's Day Off comparison. And then as I aged, I've gotten Hugh Jackman, which I'll take as a compliment. The only person, and then my daughter's friends would say I look like Edward from Twilight. Anyways, long story short, this lady was flabbergasted that I was so perfectly pasty. It's the only time in my life, thanks to Twilight and the vampires, that it was hip to be pasty. Yeah, Dean. Soon you got it. Christopher Dean. The only time I ever got Christopher Dean was when I was in trouble as a kid. But yes, Christopher Dean is the first and middle name. Anyways, that's about enough cold open. I don't have anywhere else to go with that. I don't even know how we got on middle names or Superman. I did see. I'm seeing now. Well, first I was going to say congrats to Myriad for maybe we go spicy. Maybe that's as I was crowdsourcing, getting out of our cold open here. I was crowdsourcing some titles this morning for the X Spaces. I did drop in you'll see like the YouTube title. Yeah, it's Dean Mesh. The guesses were Charles, Clark, Henry, Paul, Brandon, Henry, Bud, Stephen or Stefan. CDJ is the initials. Von Frunten gets the 100 bonus points being first. And I was searching for, and Suen gets 50 bonus points for being first on X. Payne, I hope you're keeping track of all these bonus points to decide our community member of the month. Where I was originally going to go when I went to go look for a full ADD brain for the cold open this morning, by the way. We're 15 minutes in. We're going to jump right out of it. But where I was originally going to go is next Friday, we will be not only picking our March community member of the month, we're going to be kicking off we'll still do community member of the month, but we're going to have a fun weekly prize on Fridays. Friday's kind of like our fun catch it all day. Open mic. It's always an open mic here on Coffee with Captain community show, and you all certainly help make the show more than you know. I had a fun day yesterday, probably the most vibrant stage we've had in a bit. It's been a fun week. We had a big show on Tuesday with Adam from OpenSea. Very, very hopping day yesterday with the abstract conversation. I don't really call it drama, but that's my other takeaway is we just need a leading protocol or blockchain to have somewhat of a PR crisis to lead to a hop and show a kid. But we actually have had some news this week. It's not been the greatest of news, but news nevertheless, and makes me, not just pasty, perfectly pasty is what she said. Makes me made me reminisce a little bit for the good old days where there was some sort of news like that just everyone wanted to talk about, everyone wanted to get on the conversation. Back in the mania, back in the best of days. But we'll be back. We'll be back. I don't know when we'll be back, but we will be back. I just got followed by Munch, who with World Markets. I'm not sure if he's on the World Markets team or not, but his prediction is Mega ETH TVL greater than 1 billion by end of the year. It's currently right around 100 million. Yeah. Anyways, I'm debating Munch. Great to connect. Longtime fan. I will say this. I don't know. I see in your bio contributing for World Markets. Overdue. Oh no, Joe, I do not see your request on stage. So I will say this again. You may not be able to hear me. Make sure you're on. Make sure you're on the most recent version of X. X just did an update. I updated right before the show. I don't know when it came out, but this is the update where they incorporated the dislike button, and this is the issue. I see shallow ones coming up. Yeah, if you're on a different version, and if it says no update for you, you have to actually make sure you click at. I know when you first, it'll say open instead of update. Click through the X, and then it should show update. But yeah, I'll see if I can find you. I don't even see you in the. Oh, there you are. So I'll send you the invite. See if that works. I just give you the invite to speak. But we got Anthony coming up as well. Finishing my first thought. I'm gonna work on finishing thoughts here today. I'll get another chug of coffee in and get the ADD brain at least ironed out for a bit. My thought to Munch is overdue invite. I have wanted to get someone from World Markets on. I am long Mega ETH. I actually need to get active again over there. I was early at launch and things have gotten busy. But yeah, whether yourself or someone from the team, I would love to get someone from World Markets on at some point to do a deep dive. Excited about what's being built there. And yeah, maybe I shift a little bit back into what is happening. What's the latest and greatest on Mega ETH? I know they haven't TG'd yet. I kind of sent out as a joke yesterday. Remember the people who thought OpenSea, Abstract, and Mega ETH TGEs were going to kickstart our Q1? Yeah, that's me. I'm those people. And while it's not Q1, I still remain probably irresponsibly long on not just those three, but someone else then brought up, and there was a lot of others that said, oh yeah, also MetaMask and like the 40, 50, 60 others that were originally supposed to drop in 2026. I think we still get them. I just don't know if it's going to be I think it's Dort is on record of saying October is when we get our all-time high. October is when we start pumping again. Maybe. I guess I would say I feel now that probably more likely Q3, Q4 than a Q1, even Q2. But I really don't know. I think we're at a point now where we saw this global uncertainty, even though fear and greed popped into like the 40s this week. For the most part, there's just macro is wild, and it's more than just. I know it's easy to look at like oil and the Iran conflict, but I think it's really just more uncertainty. That like housing prices are wrecked. I'll digress a little bit, and then we'll get Anthony and Shallow in here if you want to join the conversation. I also saw Joey dropped a interesting take from physical card shops. And then I also want to circle back to Myriad, their raise, and some controversy around that. I've seen a few loud voices and I think probably they're fair in their critique. I don't even call it FUD. I think it's just real critique. And I think what I'd rather do before I go too deep on it, I want to at least extend an invite to Farouk and see if he would like to would like to come on the show and just talk through it. But yeah, I did. First of all, I wanted to correct. I didn't see an amount, but I did see that Myriad closed on their seed round. I thought for some reason I was thinking they'd already raised a seed, but they seed round included Verta Ventures, Aros, Igloo, Side Door Ventures, Wave, EVG, MoonPay, Walrus, Old Fashioned Research, as well as several angels, most notably Tom Lee. I should know this punk. I do know this punk, but it's slipping my brain. Udi, Luca, Seed Phrase, Orange Cap Games, Blondish, Bubble Maps, Wiz of Soho, Zagabond. I should know all these, but some are not clicking right away. Anyways, we'll come back to that in a minute, and as well as the other post I mentioned there. But hope everyone's got their X worked out. The other thing is, it like when my X was on the old version, not this most recent one, but 2 updates ago, I was like, I couldn't even find spaces. The discoverability was really nerfed. And while I don't ask every day, because I do know we just got the most recent update, like I think overnight, we just ask a little extra love, getting things warmed up. Any likes, reposts, bookmarks on the space are greatly appreciated. Goes a long way to help with discoverability, especially when discoverability is just, we get a curveball thrown at us due to these X updates. There we go. Joey, you made it up. GM, welcome to the stage. What brought you? Did you want to talk about this Sergito post, or do you have something else in your mind? What brought you up?
No, I came up originally to tell you Ramadan ended yesterday, but on the Myriad thing, I saw some people commenting on the timeline, and this was like a few days ago before they announced that, and I kind of, I don't know, what do they call it when you go on your the opposite arc? I can't think of the word right now, but I'm just curious, like, who's using Myriad? Like, there's not a lot of volume over there. Maybe I'm not understanding like where, like, how they're able to raise this much money. Like, Kalshi.
Well, how much did they raise? I don't think we know how much they raised.
Did it not say in the? Hold on. Let me try to find it.
I didn't see
Did it not?
I need to know how I can even. I'm going to try to log in. I'm going to there right now because I want to make sure I can still log in with Abstract because that was the only way I'd logged in previously, and they moved off of Abstract to BNB chain, and season 3 is live. Use your Myriad wallet to trade in new markets. Click the Abstract button to trade in old markets. They will remain open but don't yield season 3 points. And quests and points markets are depreciated. Trade in new markets and refer users to earn season 3 points. First drop we'll drop season 3 points next week based on your contributions to Myriad. So basically, I was able to log in with my Abstract wallet, which is how I originally created my Myriad account. But you've got to create a new. I don't know. It's confusing. The flow is not great. So I did log in, and it looks like it does, I think, automatically create a new Myriad wallet, I guess. And then if you want to go back to Abstract, you can. But
so I just found an article that says they already raised 7.8 million in September of 2025.
Okay, I thought they did a raise. So
yeah, and then, here it says, however, in February the platform raised 20 million in a pre-Series A round led by Hack VC and Jump Crypto. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not here to.
Where'd you find that article?
Hold on.
Because that doesn't seem like seems off from what they just said in. I mean, none of Pack and Jump is not listed on the most recent update from yesterday.
Let me share, or maybe this says it was posted 19 hours ago. Maybe this. I mean, it looks like a legit website. Let me do more research. But I mean, either way, like, and I'm not hating on anybody. Like, build, right? Like, I'm just with the list of people that it like is in that post. You have to imagine they raised multiple seven figures. I can't imagine
Yeah,
that
I
list
mean,
of people's
yeah, I would
that
think
is putting
so.
in like 10 grand. Like, and it's just I don't know anybody that uses it. So it's like I don't know. I'm just trying to understand like where the volume comes from to justify 8 million in September, and now probably my guess is it's got to be at least 10 million, if not more, that they raised this round.
Yeah, if they raised
And
20 million last time, I would expect. I didn't know they raised 20 million previously. I'm not sure that's wholly accurate,
no,
but
7.8
to
7.8 in September.
your point though, and Diego, we'll get right to you next. I think you might have some insight, shallow one as well. If you have any Myriad insight, I would just say this: like I agree. Their challenge, I think, is just their markets. Like I'm a sports fan. I use Kalshi to become my go-to platform. I would use Myriad, but like I'm just like this is their sports tab. Like I don't know soccer or football, and the rest of the world calls it. And I guess I could bet on the Lakers Pistons game tonight. There's $330 in total volume on that. Um,
I mean,
Timberwolves,
yeah, like what is the volume? Does anybody have like a dream? Like what? How much does it get used compared? Like I
very
posted something earlier this week that showed the other prediction markets like Kalshi and Poly Market and like all the volume that's getting done there. And Myriad's not even in the top 10 of all the different places where you can do prediction/sports betting.
yeah. Wait. Also, it's Myriad is restricted still in the US. I thought they had got some. I thought they had gotten some. I can't remember the name of the license or whatever's required, or maybe it was still in process to be able to operate in the US. But let's do this. Let's get Diego in here. And I don't want to FUD them. I'm not FUDding them. I'm just like it is a real challenge. Like I would use them. I was specifically interested in using when they were on Abstract because I could get the double farming. I also have a rug NFT, which at some point I should have some Myriad token coming at some point. But there's just not like this is pretty sure this is a no over 2.5 quarterbacks drafted in the first round. I would take no on that. Again, only $400 of volume. Just it's a big hill to climb. I respect the effort and getting. I will say this: I'll give him credit for being early to prediction markets. Like I was one of the ones who thought prediction markets would kind of slowly die off after the 2024 election, and I was very wrong there. Like they've went parabolic since then, and Myriad had pivoted from Rug Radio and what they were building out there into really leaning into prediction markets, and they were right. It's just tough. It's tough when you're competing against giants like Kalshi and Polymarket, who not just have the funding and the resources, but also the backing. And they've kind of caught, I don't want to say they caught lightning in a bottle, but it'd be like, and it's also not impossible because I think of like DraftKings and FanDuel had, for all intents and purposes, quote unquote, won the daily fantasy sports race. And you had someone like Underdog come out and launch well after them. Actually, the founder of Underdog had sold his first product to FanDuel. And long story short, FanDuel sunset that product. And after his non-compete ran up, he started Underdog. And Underdog's become the leader the unquestioned leader in the best ball game. And it's not just best ball now, they've launched other markets. And so like there's a world where Underdog may already today be a bigger company than FanDuel. Think about that. Guy starts a company, sells to FanDuel, who's number 2 in a very large industry. They sunset the product they bought from him. Not, they acqui-hired him. They part ways. He then goes and starts another company that now is bigger than FanDuel and competing directly against them. Like it's so like there is a path. There have to do. My thought is they need some differentiating factor. And while I do see the what you can build in crypto and the network effects and the community, Polymarket's already in crypto. So like I just it needs something different versus just another prediction market, in my opinion. And it's tough to do that if they have the volume they have and the few markets, the liquidity. Like liquidity matters in prediction markets. You really need it. Otherwise, it's just not. It's hard to get out of the starting gates. That's it. Diego, get in here, and then we'll go shallow.
Yeah,
Diego,
doesn't it? Do we? I mean, also to consider. I mean, like you said, they launched Rug Radio and launched NFT collections and launched tokens and then launched a crypto media company and then now launched a prediction markets. Like, what confidence do we have in the team that's just been pivoting for the last 3 years to something new over and over again?
I'll come back to that.
This kind of goes back to what was talked about yesterday, right?
Yeah, I'll come back to that. This is where I did see a few other spicy takes. I will we'll share that in a minute. I don't know. I also don't know if Riggs is out there. If Riggs is out there, he might have a thought or two on this as well. But Diego, GM, hola. What brought you up this morning?
Hola, Cap. Hello. Yeah, talking about Myriad, I was very early to the first stage on Myriad markets. They started the first time with Arbitrum, and then when Abstract launched it, they went to Abstract. Of course, we can imagine that there is no liquidity on Abstract to maybe push harder the prediction market that they are trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So my guess here is that they are bridging or choosing BNB chain to get the liquidity if they planning to compete with all those giants like Kalshi or Polymarket. Maybe we can try to DM Ilan Hassan or Farouk. They had like an umbrella company called Dasta Media that they manage the Crit Media, Myriad Market, and the former Rook Radio. So I'm gonna try to hook you up with them to see if we can bring them to the show to get more information, or even Jesus Cole help us there because he's a very huge user of Myriad. You know.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I'd forgotten they launched on Arbitrum. But yeah, no, that's I don't know. I guess I was on there. But I definitely utilized or used it when they were on Abstract. But I'd completely forgotten that they had launched on Arbitrum.
From the other another thing that you mentioned before on how to use it at this moment. I don't know if you remember, but there were some quests where you can get points and you link it an Ethereum wallet. That if you hold the Rock Radio NFTs or Red Guys, you get like bonus points. So in this case, if you have the you link at that wallet, that Ethereum wallet, you just need to change on your MetaMask to BNB chain, and you're gonna be able to use it. I'm not sure if for new users maybe they are gonna create a new wallet, but let's see. We can try to bring them to the show and ask all the doubts.
Yeah, awesome. I appreciate it. I'll DM Farouk as well. I don't expect him on the short notice today, but maybe we'll get him on next week and get his side of the story, because the other, like where I'm going to go here in a bit, it's not great. I mean, it's some pretty aggressive. I don't even think calling it FUD is fair. Like it's some like almost threats, and I don't want to like go too hard in that conversation without Farouk being able to at least defend himself. But Shallow and GM, I think you're somewhat familiar with this as well. Thoughts on Myriad, this raise, and anything else on the prediction market front?
Yeah, so I think it's actually very interesting. Actually, I'm not a hater on it. I do see a lot of the things on the timeline pushing back on it, being an NFT company now progressing to more of a traditional media slash platform. I think the reality is that you have to pivot, right? If you're a vital business, and if you understand someone like Farouk, he understands attention. And to be fair, I think what it comes down to is having the budget for the marketing to promote and push. If they're pivoting to Binance, it shows you that they're understanding the importance of liquidity in launching a prediction markets platform. The other thing too is, if you're really going to build a company that's going to last, it's got to usually be technology based. Now, mind you, I thought all of these things prior to, but with the advent of OpenClaw and now Cloud Code, which is pretty much taking over as well as Google. It just shows you, you have to be able to adapt to the game to stay relevant. Prediction markets, yes, they're early. I think it's also important too. I'm still currently with projects that are raising, and prediction markets is still a very talked about opportunity, especially given that they do plan on launching a token versus Kalshi and Polymarket are not. They don't want to get into the speculative part of it, and I assume if they do, at some point, it'll be more on the stablecoin side than it will be in a traditional altcoin. So just to kind of put this back together, um, talking to Loxley and kind of understanding how things work, it's like it's got to be a tech play, right? And then again, it's got to be marketing and then user acquisition, and it's got to do all these things. And you have to have a good fund for people to be able to get into. And to be fair, we're also people putting their money outside of AI, right? This is probably the closest thing that you'll get to a real opportunity to get a unicorn, because you can see the potential, obviously, with Polymarket and Kalshi, and see where you're going to be able to build, right, as an investor, and hopefully hit 100, 1,000x. So to me, it's probably on the tail end of where we're seeing raises for prediction markets, but it's still absolutely a vital space. You can obviously tell leading up from the Super Bowl to the election to the Super Bowl, and now obviously March Madness. So there's just a huge opportunity. I just give them a lot of credit too, because not only because early, but because they were able to continue to raise, it just shows you that they're showing their relevance. Now, again, I understand the liquidity part of it, but that's easy to fix. You just got to give the right incentives, right? If you give the right incentives, if you get enough KOLs and, a Web 2 push into these things, maybe they have a mass distribution play within media. Maybe they have a mass distribution play where they plug in their platform into all these different sources, publishers, portals, areas where they can really grow. And again, it requires a lot of liquidity to do the marketing efforts the same way that Kalshi did, right? To be fair, Kalshi was late to the game. Polymarket was early, but because of the way they marketed to the younger generation, to the Gen Z versus to the more serious capital, political, geopolitical side of things, they really took the market by storm. Now, of course, I disagree with some of these things and how they've marketed towards teenagers and college kids and college campuses. But it just shows you the opportunity of what they have. They must have a proper marketing business plan in terms of go to market for them to be able to raise as well. We don't assume that they just raise these things with a closed business plan and just like, hey, just invest in the tech. That's just my initial take. I would love to hear some of your thoughts, and then I'll add a couple more.
Yeah, no, good take. While yes, they are well connected, they got from. I'm going to play a clip from Katie here. Frog's take on VCs. These angels, these funds, they're not just going to throw money at something they don't think has an opportunity or some shot. I agree with you. Like outside of AI right now, prediction markets is probably the hottest opportunity, and the valuations. Like Kalshi raised another $1 billion at $22 billion valuation. It's just it's wild. Like you could say, is that overpriced? I don't know, but liquidity is so important. Like the funding is so important, and maybe this raise helps them enable more markets. Now, prediction markets are, in theory anyways, supposed to be peer-to-peer. So unless they're going a different route, shouldn't be on the other side of these. They wouldn't necessarily be using that raise to be on the other side of, providing liquidity in these markets. I'm just not that deep in the back end operations of prediction markets and understand what might be going on there. It's on the tech front though. Like I could be wrong. I very well could be wrong. What I heard, and this didn't come directly from Myriad, but what I heard from a pretty reliable source was that the tech isn't necessarily even their tech. They're just white labeling or private labeling someone else's prediction market tech, and really more of the like marketing arm, go to market and scale the thing. But I don't know as if they have any moat whatsoever on the tech front. From what I was told, that could change. Maybe part of this raise is to build their own proprietary software, own proprietary tech. But at least initially, at one point, I was told the tech was someone else's tech, and they were simply white labeling the prediction market tech on the back end. But Anthony, GM, sorry we didn't get you yesterday. Appreciate you jumping back up. Thoughts on Myriad Market or anything else that we already hit on this morning?
GM. Yeah, I think on the Myriad topic, you guys are spot on. At the end of the day, distribution is everything right now, right? Even you want to talk proprietary tech with the way things are moving with AI. I feel like that mode is no longer something that's people feel a lot of security in, but distribution is the end all be all. So you just look at the people behind it, you understand the opportunity that they have. I think that that's the play really. And if I'm investing, that's where I'm going as well, right? To the built-in distribution channels.
Yeah, no, fair. Joey, go back to you.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about distribution, the move to BNB chain is a little weird because when you look at like the top countries in the world where prediction markets and sports betting is, and then you look at where the majority of BNB chain usage is, there's not a lot of overlap there. Like the majority of the money from BNB chain flows from, Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Philippines, Thailand, India, Pakistan, parts of Africa, like Latin America, where the top prediction markets in the world are USA, China, Australia, United Kingdom. It's like, so maybe BNB offered, not like, why do people switch chains or choose certain chains? Maybe BNB, offered some type of grant investment, et cetera, et cetera. But I guess that would be my question is like, why the move to a chain that the majority of the money that flows into that chain isn't from any of the top countries that are prediction bets and sports bets?
I like Payne's angle, not just because he's the best producer in the game, but I agree with the take, and probably something to do there is, yeah, do you want to compete with Polymarket here in the States and Kalshi, or do you want to go somewhere where there's not a leader yet? And Payne says you could argue BNB is untapped liquidity, specifically in the prediction market. There's a lot of liquidity there, and not, as far as I know, they might be first in the prediction market game on BNB. So could be tapping into liquidity. Mayhem on the converse of this is BNB offers for crime. Not me saying that, but also possibly in range. I don't know. Let me play this quick clip, about 60 seconds, and then we'll get back to hands here. 70 seconds. Thanks, Katie, for sharing.
Could have gone the traditional route, started a media company.
Audio coming through.
Called the boys at A16 and the fam out there because we got friends everywhere. Shout out to the VCs too and the angels. They're very important to every space. But like, that's not what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to truly show the world that I can build and we can build a company through NFTs. That's really what it is. And that's what's so revolutionary about it. And I want people, and I double down because I really want people to understand that. We just showed everyone that we can raise 2,100 ETH, which was equivalent to $7 million on the day of launch, exactly on the dot, through NFTs, and build something that will be successful, but also owned by the people. Like I'm a true, like, I'm a really a pure, like, as well, you know, how as much as Mel is a purist in terms of decentralization, I'm really a purist in terms of community building. And so really wanted to reward the people that believed in me personally and that followed the journey of Farouk in this space from the get-go, that then evolved into something bigger than me. I want this to outgrow me by 10 million times. And that's what it's already doing. I'm seeing it. People are starting to value our hosts and the treasury, and then there's the DAO, and I'm slowly just going to blend it.
So I have no insight. I have no inside knowledge. Just hoping, guessing, maybe it is pure hopium, that maybe those NFT holders, those Rug Radio NFT holders, which there was, just to catch everyone up there was a snapshot taken, I think back in October, like, kid you not, like days before 10/10, and alluding that, Myriad token was coming soon. And then 10/10 hit, and it's been kind of, for all intents and purposes, down only since. And not just Myriad, but most teams in the space have delayed or deferred their TGEs. And maybe the NFT holders end up getting gifted some equity in Myriad. I do think that's some of the complaints in the timeline. I will flash some posts here in a second. And I also, Farouk, if you happen to catch a clip here, like, open invite, I'll send you a DM after the show. I would prefer to have this conversation with you or someone on the team to hear both sides of it. And I also fully can appreciate and understand that if this was in the cards, what I just speculated, you can't talk about it. You can't talk about, oh yeah, our NFT holders are going to get equity, because now you just turn it into a security. It's a tough spot to be in if those are your plans, whether it's token based or gifting equity to NFT holders. you can't talk about it until after the fact. Rec guys did this successfully. There's been a few others. Goblin Town, Frogs, all ended up gifting equity to their NFT holders. Or in some cases, I think with Goblin Town, you had to burn your NFT in exchange for the equity. But case in point, like there was no, you didn't have to buy into those rounds. You just got a sliver of equity for being a supporter, being a holder. Kind of what Farouk alluded to in that video. And now some people are up in arms. And we talked about comms, PR, frequent updates, communication. I went on kind of a rant on Monday, and I have chatted with some of the Yuga leadership team. Maybe we'll have them on next week as well just to continue that conversation and hear it from them. But just like when months go by without any updates, often at least some people, at least some of the supporters, they're going to start thinking the worst because they just don't know. And there's some people who are deep in that rug ecosystem, held a lot of NFTs. And since the snapshot, the NFTs have basically went to zero, and there's not been any update since, and they're frustrated. So and then they see a raise yesterday, and it caused more blowback and reignited the FUD or the anger on the timeline from those individuals because, oh, we heard that we were going to be taken along for the ride, and I'm gonna get Cheeses in here next. I also remind me to come back to OpenSea Waves 1 and 2, something that they couldn't say or didn't say, but someone brought up yesterday after the fact, commented on that video, and pretty interesting take. And I want to double tap on and actually dive into this recent. We talked about the SEC CFTC announcement. I want to actually zoom in on that because there was some interesting information in there that I had missed. Most people probably didn't read the whole thing, myself included. Like 6 pages into it was a really interesting thing that may or may not, we're speculating here, but may actually have to do why OpenSea offered the optional refunds for waves 3 through 6 and not waves 1 and 2. Stay tuned for that. Jesus, GM, thoughts on Myriad, prediction market as a whole, or anything we've already hit on this morning?
GM. Yeah, I missed the first like 20 minutes, but I caught all the Myriad stuff. Yeah. So I've been heavily involved in Myriad. I was a beta tester of Myriad early on.
Can I ask real quick? Was that due to you're deep in the rug ecosystem? You're just a fan of what they were building, or was it abstract driven?
Well, no, I was this was when they had their creator program going on. I was actually a creator for Rug Radio. So they would amplify my spaces. They would, a lot.
Does that exist at all anymore in any form, or no?
No, they completely sidelined. They shut down the creator Discord. It kind of all came out of nowhere. Like it was like boom, like it just kind of faded away. We used to have deal flow. Like it was really, really good.
So today it's essentially like Rug Radio is like FOMO hour, and anything it's just like Farouk and just a handful of creators. Like what is Rug Radio today? I should know this, but
Rug Radio today is really no longer Rug Radio. Like
but they did do the deal with Decrypt, and so they have like Diego shared the parent company. So
so Dastan is the main company.
Okay.
Then you have underneath that umbrella, you have Decrypt, which is their media side.
Mm-hmm.
So the original platform layout was that you could go on and you could read articles. By reading the articles, if you had the extension, it would pick up everything and you would earn points. And then those points you could then take and place predictions inside of the market. There wasn't enough volume on USDC. So it seems like they have now, this new season 3, they've gotten rid of everything Decrypt related. You can still go there and see the news and like see the articles from Decrypt, but you can't earn from them. Now, they may give you some insight into some of the prediction markets they have, because a lot of them do have a prediction market pegged to it. So it's kind of still leaning both companies together. I do understand that they had to go away from points. They did need to start making money. They did need to start bringing more liquidity on chain. Their markets were complete trash, because if I go in there and put $500 on a prediction market, I was losing like $30, $40 because there wasn't enough liquidity. It wasn't deep enough for it to absorb me just making that small of a bet, which $500 is a lot of money, but you don't have that price impact when you go on Poly Market or on Kalshi. So that was their biggest problem was liquidity. They were not hiring any creators. I reached out about, because I was number one on the Myriad Z board and, absolutely cooked over there because we were running a spaces for about 6 months called Myriad Minute, where we were hosting a morning show about Myriad. Like, bro, I was deep into this. Then when they decided to rug the NFTs, pun intended, and I don't know if you have seen the Myriad Foundation page. It's Myriad FND. That's the handle. And the last tweet from them regarding all this was on October 7th. And they said a snapshot of all Rug Radio Genesis NFTs and Rug token balances claimed, unclaimed, and to be yielded has been taken for the future conversion into ticker MYR community allocations. I've seen the Bored Ape guy running around. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bro, I don't know how Farouk hurt him, but I've seen his post a lot, and the guy is definitely pissed at them. Their NFTs weren't a very high floor, and there was 20,000 plus of these things. They've never said that they were going to do a public raise. They never. You would be in his argument that the Rug token and the NFTs were only supposed to be the gateway into Ticker Mirror is kind of dumb. It's like, you don't think this company's going to raise? You don't think there's, I think it's smart they're not doing a public raise. Then you're just going to have a whole community pissed off that you didn't TGE yet.
Yep.
So it's like, they're doing what's best for the brand. They're doing, and I'm not defending Farouk. I'm not paid by Farouk. I don't get any deals through them anymore as a creator, but I do think they're trying to build a legitimate, Web3 focused, all around Web3 focused prediction market more than any of these other prediction markets that are out there. Because, they're bringing a massive decentralized media system of Decrypt into the fold, and it allows people to do the research right on the website. A lot of these guys, bro, they have a reporter in the White House like that has a press badge for Decrypt Media. This guy's interviewed the president of the United States. There's supposed to be another interview coming. He's interviewed both Trump brothers, Eric and Donald. He has a great relationship. When I seen the partnership with B&B that they did a few months ago while still on Abstract, I was like, oh, this is about to get bigger than Abstract. That was my thought, because B&B has so much volume, so much liquidity, but they don't have a prediction market. And they tried it with Linea. That was a massive
someone
failure.
mentioned they did have an earlier prediction market. Linea is the name you're missing there. Mesh. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these were just like little partnerships, little activations to branch out further into Web3. They did Arbitrum, they did Linea. Obviously they launched on Abstract. And then the B&B thing is what sent it over. And then when I seen him interview CZ multiple times already, there's a relationship.
So I guess I have I will DM Farouk Brad for the show. Different time zone, really tough to get him live right now, I would imagine. But we'll see if we can get him on like 9 o'clock hour some point next week. Because my question would be like, everything you described, I agree. Would love to have some of those connections from a media standpoint. Decrypt, if you're not familiar, also again a big thing prior to that. This was, I think, Art Basel 2024 maybe is when they announced the partnership. But big, the merge, the Dan Stand became the parent company, which, above Decrypt and Rug Radio. My question, Jesus, is like that what, like yesterday we were talking about good to great and like what can you be the best in the world at? Not saying they can't become eventually. It's massive Herculean effort, David versus Goliath, for them to become the best in the world in prediction markets. When you talk about decentralized media, I don't know, man. They might have been in the lead. Like it seems like, and not that they've hard pivoted out, but as someone who was a rug creator and deep in that ecosystem, and it was working, you're getting deal flow, etc. What am I missing here? Just it seems like I maybe the answer is you couldn't do both. They had to pick their lane, but
I think so. Yeah.
It's just they really do have a lot going on the media front, and maybe harder to monetize. Interesting, kind of a hard pivot. This is the last, you mentioned the Myriad Foundation. This is the post today. This is October 7th, again, 3 days before 10/10. Today we're officially depreciating. Am I saying that word right?
Yeah, depreciating.
Just looks like I would deprecating. Yeah, deprecating. I was gonna say I would spell deprecating makes more sense.
Yeah,
here.
deprecating.
We're officially deprecating. There you go. This is
thank you.
Coffee with Captain and mispronunciations with Cap today.
We got a hillbilly from Tennessee over here.
Got one from Southeast Ohio here. Jesus and I, we might start a show just called on-chain hillbillies. My college buddies called me the City Grit. This was you learned a middle name and a college nickname there a little bit ago. Anyways,
have you seen the guy that does like the English pronunciation videos? And he's like, no, and he's trying to show people how we pronounce words fucked up in America.
No idea what you're talking about.
It reminds me of you all the time. I'll send it to you. It reminds me of you all the time. You'll find it very funny.
Today we're officially deprecating the Rug Radio Genesis NFT and the Rug token as part of our evolution towards the Myriad ecosystem, a unified network for creator economies and information markets. A snapshot of all Rug Radio Genesis NFTs and Rug token balances, claimed, unclaimed, and to be yielded, has been taken for future conversion into mere community allocations. This ensures that Rug Radio's community early participation and contributions continue to be represented in the broader Myriad vision. Further details on the conversion process and the claim mechanics will follow at the time of the Mere Community Allocation event. Thank you for everyone who helped build Rug Radio into what it is. Your role in shaping the future of media continues through Myriad. This was 6 months ago. Now, someone mentioned Gigaza. I'm not going to go down the rant. If we're going to be extremely critical, we will wait till we get Farouk or someone on the team here so they can at least respond. If you like, the only posts I see from Gigaza anymore are taking and again, I don't know how deep he was. I don't know how many Rug tokens or Rug NFTs, but he went from a big supporter and a fan of Rug Radio to this type of response or post is all I've seen when he pops in my time as of late. He's asking Tyler, who's one of the angels in this round, fancy trying to be objective after spamming Rug for the best part of, 1 to 2 years as being the best way to get exposure to this, to then take part of a seed for actual real equity. Fancy telling us the terms of the investment. This was a quote tweet of a comment where it says, a lot of the seed investors were spamming Rug as the only way to get into Myriad. Now they've pivoted entirely away from mentioning it. I'm not defending. I don't need to defend anyone here. I'm just saying they can't until they're ready to do the thing. They can't talk about it. They can't create a security. No one's going to win in that world. The other one, he says, I know I complain a lot, but for anyone who knows 1K, he's one of the most genuine, forgiving guys in the space. He's tried to stay out of it, but like me, he got absolutely wrecked by Farouk and Myriad and broken promises. It's same thing, just saying funny. There's no mention of equity for people who spend copious amounts of money minting and buying Rug Radio because they were supposed to be the only way to get equity. I don't know if this was actually said. I've seen this said a few times. I didn't hear this. I never heard that specifically. All I know is that the Rug Radio, all that's been said that I've seen is that the Rug Radio NFTs and tokens would lead to Myriad token, which is not equity. And we all know that. We should know that at this point. This entire journey has been the most disappointing with broken promises made in one-to-one meetings and public forums. So again, I'm not trying to make this a engagement baity, fuddy, another spicy show, but there is a lot of that on the timeline. And I think more so where my curiosity lies is even that last post I just read from the Myriad Foundation, it talked about prediction markets and media. As I look at the new Myriad site, and because I actually thought what they were doing with, now was I farming the articles? No. but I thought it was unique. I thought it was a, engage to earn, consume to earn, a unique way to pay content creators. Geez, I'm curious. I know you were participating on Myriad. Were you ever in like the engage to earn? Like, was there ever a, hey, go tune into Myriad Minute and you could earn points on Myriad? Did you ever participate in that or did they just keep it to Myriad, Decrypt, Rug, and DGens Live, which is
they at one point. Sorry, I spilled a drink, so now I'm fucking having to clean it up. They at one point had it set up to where if you went and watched the show, they had it set up to where if you watched like 5 minutes of one of their Rug Radio shows on YouTube, it would recognize it, give you points. Like they were baking in a lot of content. And it seemed like they pivoted away from that. But other than that, the original statement was always what they were doing, and they've never swayed. They've never went away from that. So I just now found G's on Ape's wallet, and I can see how much he spent. You know, he has 52 of the Rug Radio NFTs still.
Ooh.
Looked like he paid, in the range of 0.1 to 0.3 ETH, so, do that times 50. So he might have spent, 5 to 7 ETH. And ain't no telling how much token he had because he's shouting out Tyler, because Tyler was one of the biggest voices saying stack ticker rug. And, so I get his frustration. But yeah, I don't know. I don't see the team going away from what they said, though. I mean, I think you're going to get rewarded for the snapshot. There were plenty of people when that snapshot was announced. There were plenty of people that were jeeting that floor down and taking all the WETH offers that were there.
Yeah, and man, it's just a tough spot to be in. I don't have all the information. I have like a single rug NFT, so I'm like, it's not that deep for me. If I had 52 of them, I'd probably feel a certain way as well.
But when you look at it, when you go to the collection, Tyler didn't jeet a lot of it. He still has 792.
So I think
Steve Praise has 500.
So I think we're, not to speak for G's, but I think like what I'm interpreting is, where was the cutoff? Did you have to have 500 of these? Do you have to have 700 of these? Because I think, I don't know, maybe, I mean, based on what I've seen on his timeline over the past year, he's probably not getting in this seed round anyways, even if presented the option. But it's just connecting those dots. Did they go to their top, 10 holders and say, hey, do you want in this seed round? And give them an opportunity to effectively double down on their investment, maybe at a discount. And then someone who had 52 of them still has material amount of money, presumably was just left on the outside. And still, I think more so than not being included in the round, it's probably not being included in the round, and then it's double whammy when it's been since over 6 months since the snapshot and the announcement of you're going to get Myriad token, which hasn't come yet, and the NFTs that went to zero. Like I feel the pain, and I don't know the answer. Tough spot to be in. I think if not telling Farouk what to do, if I'm Farouk, I'd probably reach out, and maybe it's lost cause, but I'd reach out to G's and at least have a conversation. Like he's maybe not going to make happy, maybe it makes things worse, but I'd at least attempt to have that conversation, smooth things over. Also, Joey,
then how many other calls do you got to have with all the other people after G says just got off the call with Farouk and I'm now bullish on Myriad?
Yep. I mean, but that's part of it is I don't know. I don't know the answer. Tough spot, and I'm not.
And when you look at that cap table, there's a whole lot of friends on there. You got Seed Phrase, you have Wizard of Soho, you have like a lot of his homeboys that were investors into that token. And it's kind of a lot of the same faces you see on a lot of other different raises within the space. So it's like, you could also look at it in the way of like, okay, well, the wealthier are only getting wealthier because their friend is launching a coin in 2 months. And then 2 months later, that other friend's launching a coin, and so on and so forth, So
Did get some additional information. Not to correct Joey, but to correct Joey, that Myriad raise he mentioned.
Oh, someone fire me. 100%.
You can just say things. It's cool. That Myriad raise he mentioned, the 7.8 million, was not this Myriad. It was another company by the same name that does automated compliance, which that it's like, what could go wrong? You just turn over compliance to AI. Certainly, because I saw someone yesterday actually talking about legal documents from Claude and saying this can replace your attorney. This can save you tens of thousands of dollars in legal contracts. It's like, hey, I've used Claude for drafts, but I'm still having my attorney. I think Claude and ChatGPT, most of these AIs, they could replace your paralegals. They could even probably replace your junior or your associate attorneys. But if you're in like, it's not the document itself that's that expensive or that important. What becomes expensive is, does it hold up? If nothing goes wrong, cool, just use LegalZoom or Claude or ChatGPT it. It's the challenge is, if something goes wrong and you're facing litigation, is it going to hold up in court? And I would just say, whether you're doing regulatory stuff on autopilot or legal documents, probably still a good idea to have an actual attorney, a human attorney, review your final draft, especially if you're talking millions of dollars of potential risk. I would not recommend just fully leaning into AI for your legal docs today. But like I said, good starting point. Yes, sir.
That's what happens when you just read headlines and like summary text and don't actually click on an article. So
it's okay.
I was like sitting there just seeing, I saw like Myriad in September, and I'm like, oh, this must be it. And click on articles, do your research. Don't be a dumbass like me.
So Dastan, which is Myriad's parent, they raised 20 million in February. And then again, as we just mentioned, they folded Rug and Decrypt into that same entity. So yeah, just interesting. Be interesting how this plays out. I am more so than the raise, or am I going to get anything for the one Rug NFT I held? I don't want to say I don't care, but I don't care. I'm more interested in like how does this go forward with prediction market? And like, I really did think they were onto something with the whole engaged earn thing. Maybe it just never took off. Maybe no one was doing it. Maybe I don't know. I thought there was something there. And
well, I'm looking at their markets, and they definitely do have a lot more liquidity. Like this crude oil's next move, pumped to 120 or dumped to $55. And I mean, there's 473K in volume. Like, they never had volume like that before.
Oh wow. Okay. So this is, I was looking at like the sports ones, and those were still light. I mean, maybe this is the move then. Like, lean into, I'm guessing you have similar stuff on Polymarket and Kalshi. But yeah, this is huge volume relative to the other. We were looking at like $300. This is 783,000 on the urea price. Crude oil's next move, as you mentioned, 473,000 compared to like $473 on the sports.
Yeah. I mean, if you scroll further down, I mean, there's markets. The Ethereum pumped to 3K or dumped to 1,500. It's got 24,000 in volume. Like, that's, those are pretty big numbers from where they were. And I think that's what they needed. Yep. They needed deeper liquidity.
It's critical. I would even go so far, again, my unsolicited advice for the Myriad team, kill the sports markets. Like, you're not going to compete in that arena right now. Like, it's better to, because like me, I went to their site, I'm like, oh, like, I'm not interested. Like, what the hell am I going to do with a sport I don't know, and there's $140 of volume? Get out of here. They must be dying. Well, they're not. It's just like, as a sports fan, that's where I go first. I think it'd be better off to not have that at all. At least highlight these markets that where it just jumps, you can't miss it, that they have these massive markets on, whether it's crude oil or even will Trump visit China before May? $269,000 of total volume. I might put a yes on that, because
I think they're going to lean into NBA very heavily because of, Asia markets love NBA.
It could be. It's just if they're going to do that, they need a lot more markets because right now it's like they've got Lakers versus Pistons is the one game, and then they got who's going to win the Northwest Division matchup. There's just not.
It's NBA season right now. They're leaning in. They're going to lean into the NBA.
They got to do it now.
The playoffs coming.
Yeah.
What sweet?
Or shelve it and come back next year when you have deeper liquidity. But this really is like I am kind of shocked that they have, and this has to be part of the B&B move. And you talk about like, hey, where can you carve out a niche? It's like you're not going to. I shouldn't say not. It's highly unlikely that they're going to go capture any sort of material market share from the prediction market space at large from Kalshi or Polymarket. I don't know how you do that. Where they could win is some hyper niche, both maybe it's talk about B&B and the Asia market, and then hey, lean into oil, lean into this geopolitical stuff, because while it may be on Kalshi, it might be on Polymarket, you clearly found something here. I mean, they're going to push 1 million. I don't even know what urea is.
But here's the thing, Cap. They don't have to. Every brand says, "Oh, we're going to be the best at this," and Pudgy Penguins, we're going to be the #1 IP in the world, and Disney's going to try and buy us, and we're never going to sell, and all this. Like everybody wants to be the best of the best. All you have to do is grab a little bit of the market. All you have to do is get a little bit of the mind share. Like
yeah, but I think you can get a little bit of the market by creating markets that don't exist elsewhere.
Yeah,
and
100%.
I'm guessing urea is one of them. I'm checking right now. I don't see urea on Polymarket. Let me check Kalshi, because this really could be something. It might be. So it's not exactly on Kalshi. How high will the price of fertilizer get this year is a market on Kalshi, but there's no urea. If you're not familiar, because I wasn't, urea is a colorless, odorless compound that acts as vital nitrogen waste product in mammals, excreted in urine. It's produced by the liver, turns pee into a safe waste product in skincare. It's used. Wow, today, the more you know on Coffee with Captain.
Yeah, I know. Is this a market on Myriad?
It is. It's one of their biggest markets. And so here's the market. $784,000, their largest market in terms of liquidity. Will urea price be above 610 on March 25th? Now, today, if you're like me, you're learning that urea is turning urine into skincare and fertilizer. Do I have any interest in betting on the urea market? No, I don't. But apparently people do. $785,000 real dollars in this market. And what I'm trying to drive home here is prediction markets are very much a thing. People want to bet on everything. Well, you can't bet on urea on Polymarket or Kalshi. You can on Myriad, and it's their top market. I would, if I'm them, I would lean into non-sports stuff, because I just don't. It's very, very, very challenging to compete with Kalshi, Polymarket, and it's not just Kalshi and Polymarket. It's Kalshi, Polymarket, DraftKings, Underdog, FanDuel, and all the casinos in the world. You may not be able to find another market for urea, and again, $780,000 on it. It's relevant. I also will give them some tech credit. While the prediction market itself might be a white label or private label, I don't know this for a fact. I was just told that by a credible source. This is pretty cool. If you're seeing this on the screen now, I've shouted them out on this previously, but they have this part of the Chrome extension is if you Google, I just Googled what is urea. You see, I get the AI overview from Gemini. Then I get a Wikipedia link, and right next to the Wikipedia link, top of fold is the Myriad market. So I'm logged in. I can bet right from Google.
And that was one of the things I was telling you. If you go to YouTube, if it's still enabled, if you go to YouTube, you should see that same. Well, it's probably not, because you used to be able to earn by watching it. So you would see the extension would pop up, and it was like right underneath the YouTube video. And it was like, it would tell you how long you had to watch to earn whatever points. Like the extension was really integrated into your browser.
Where wasn't Jonah building something in regards to like live streaming, where like you can reward people or something? Or am I imagining things?
No, Jonah's still doing that. He's building LiveFrame, which is a AI clip-in service and all kinds of stuff. It was really cool.
Oh, so it's not. I thought he was because remember, didn't he talk about how like, when Kaido was so big and et cetera, he was like, oh yeah, we're gonna build something for live streaming where you can reward your fans or something for watching, or no? Am I remembering correctly?
I don't know if he was going that route. I know his creators are earning and the Clippers are earning money, from things that they're doing right now. But I'm not sure about that.
I can't believe the rabbit hole I'm about to go down today. Like, I'm really interested in how in 1828, Frederick Wöhler famously synthesized urea in a lab, demonstrating the organic compounds could be treated from inorganic materials, breaking the theory of vitalism, and thought, hey, maybe we can take this cow urine and it'll be a great skin moisturizer. Like, I'm still perplexed by who was the first person that decided to drink cow's milk, let alone, this is today I learned that people are probably in my CeraVe, face lotion is some cow urine. I did not know this until today. I mean,
yeah, if you read the ingredients in a lot of these things, you probably wouldn't want to put.
Oh, it's been a staple per Women's Health. It's been a staple in skincare for decades. Meet the multitasking skincare ingredients that instantly hydrates, smooths, and transforms rough skin. All it takes is a little bit of cow urine. It's oh my God, it's absolutely in my CeraVe. It says about hyaluronic acid. You probably heard all about ceramides, but there's another favorite powerhouse ingredient quietly doing serious work in your favorite moisturizers, urea. Found in everything from drugstore classics to prescription treatments, the ingredient is a multitasker that hydrates, exfoliates, and strengthens your skin barriers all at once. Whether you're battling stubborn patches of dryness, keratosis pilaris, or rough elbows and heels, chances are urea can help almost instantly. I don't know. I'm assuming there's a brand name urea out there.
It really sounds like an STD, bro. Like, I don't
know what could be a more fitting sponsor for a crypto show than cow urine face moisturizer, but I'm interested in having a discussion. If you're looking for new sponsors or new partners, I'm interested in having a discussion. And yes, speaking of clipping things, this isn't even cold open material pain. This is actually, we're talking markets here. This is $780,000 prediction market. Like, I'm just doing my part talking about trending topics in the news today. But yeah, good luck with the clips today. They should be interesting, needless to say. I'm going to read a quote here. We'll remain nameless for now, but it says the issue, talking to Myriad here, the issue is not which chain they build on. The issue is they have no moat. They have no proprietary technology that someone like Polymarket or Kalshi needs to buy or license in order to maintain their lead. So this, like many other NFT people get involved with, it's a chase for something that others made, and they hope to milk the revenue and subsequent opportunities that are presented. Being on BNB is just being able to tap into the Asian market, and no one on BNB cares about things being legal at this point. Again, just quoting a take in a chat. And because someone mentioned R. Kelly, I don't know how, he's probably a more fitting sponsor partner for urea, but Pond would say there are no moats. I'm trying to figure out how I can properly land this plane and do it. I do know how to properly land the plane and pivot. Also, not lost on me. Good callback, Diablito. Talking about my pasty skin and smooth and like, I don't know. I've been using CeraVe. I'm going to go check the ingredients soon after the show. Maybe it wasn't my sunscreen that the lady was complimenting. Maybe it was the cow urine on my face is what's kept my pasty complexion despite being in the sun. Very good chance that I have cow urine to thank for my soft pasty skin complexion. Shallowan, please save me here. I do have a way to tie this all together into the next topic, but
no, I appreciate it. If you can't inject humor into this conversation, what are we doing? No, I think to your point, another thing that I got out of GDC from my CEO is that, when you look at investors, and there were a lot of investors there at GDC just to kind of probe and poke their head into the conversations over in gaming. But it's still about user acquisition and it's about distribution. So the way to look at this is understanding that with the age of AI, products, SaaS, all of these things are going to grow at beyond scale, the more we can comprehend, almost similar to what you look at like Netflix or any of these other content-driven platforms, right? There's more content, there's more all these things, but the real question is, where is the distribution? And if they have the lock on distribution, whether it starts in Southeast Asia, fills that moat because obviously there's not a lot of competition, which again, I think that's actually the smartest way to kind of go about it. I understand what Joey's saying, that like, why would they do this? But it's actually the exact reason why you would do that is because there's a lack of market share there that you can then grab onto and build out from. And to be fair, Southeast Asia is probably one of the most largest growing sectors in the space, and it has one of the largest adoption levels in terms of crypto native users, and it's growing by the minute. Again, just look at Korea and the impact and the explosion that's happened since Q3, Q4. The other thing to think about is people, when you want to talk about investments outside of, again, AI and even prediction markets, it's really going to be funding user acquisition and understanding who owns the distribution funnels in this world to actually get it in front of their eyeballs, get it in front of their hands in terms of mobile apps. And to be fair too, most of the world, when we look at it in terms of like usability, is through mobile. And Southeast Asia, for the most part, that's the only access point to the rest of the world in terms of like the internet. So I think there's so much more opportunity here that they can cover, that they can build. And distribution is absolutely the key when you're flooded with AI products that are being built every single day, every single minute.
Yeah, I think I would agree or double down on other markets and hyper niche focus, carve outs. And now, hey, if Urea becomes the next big prediction market that people want to get action on, there is, to the earlier point, there is no moat. Like in a second, Kalshi and Polymarket can spin up the same market. So it's like tough, but I think that's how you can use it as a way to jumpstart distribution. It's a way you can use it to jumpstart additional liquidity, and then maybe people start expanding into other markets. Last comment on this. Zonko says, a while back, a listener recommended coconut oil for a natural moisturizer, and I've been using it ever since. Legit best alpha I've gotten in years. I'll pass on the cowpea, thanks. I would also pass on the cowpea. Please speak to a dermatologist first. I'm not a dermatologist, not a medical advisor. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a financial advisor. Just join us for some fun, some information, and maybe a little bit of education along the way. But nothing. Did you know DeerP is a 90K to a 300K gross income a year? Mayhem, maybe what we do for our luxury boutique hotel ranch in Costa Rica is deers. I don't know if there's deers in Costa Rica, but deers and cows. And, we can almost give away our suites we monetize the ranch with deer and cow urine. There's a business opportunity in many things today. We're finding out here on Coffee with Captain. Whew. So tying this all together, landing the plane, I will say this on the Urea topic, no jokes, like in all seriousness, what I mean by finding a niche in the non-sports markets is look at Hyperliquid. Look at, if you missed it, Hyperliquid is now trading more oil, gold, and silver than crypto. The HIP3 open interest surpassed 1.5 billion, all-time high. Platform is processing more volume in tokenized commodities than pure crypto native assets. 24/7 Advantage is pulling volume from traditional exchanges. They also, Trade XYZ just announced the S&P 500 can now be longed or shorted up to 50x leverage on Hyperliquid. But this went from basically not on the platform, slow start, and then with the recent volatility in oil, it's become the largest markets on Hyperliquid. So while gold, oil, and silver might be slightly different than Urea, these non-sports markets, these non-crypto markets, the plural of deer is deer. Did I say deers? I think I said deer, right? I mean, I keep in mind, I'm a I'm a hillbilly where my brother from another mother, Jesus, and I probably shouldn't say I've shot a deer in my life, but we ate all the meat. The deer jerky's great, and I grew up in deer country. Shalom, go ahead.
Oh, bro, you're killing me. I love it though.
I did say deers. Apparently, I said deers. That was a slip. I know deer is the plural of deers.
I never hold people to pronunciation because I deal with people from all over the world, and it's only fair to just give that just a sweep, right? I just negate it entirely. Actually, and I apologize. The other market that people are headed towards in the hundreds of millions of dollars. I was over at Hong Kong Consensus, and RWA was the proliferation of everything else outside of AI. And no, you hit the nail on the head. When you're talking about large investors, they don't move money, anything less than I think 8 figures. Now, obviously, there's people who do less, but when you talk to like the whales, the people who are moving the needle, the market makers, RWAs in terms of commodities, rare earth metals, and things like urea, I think it's a huge market, and obviously you can see that on Myriad. I just think it's super interesting to see the dichotomy of these things in a way that separates like the people like myself who are like small time, and then the people who are like 7, 8, 9 figures into these things. And absolutely, RWAs is changing the whole world in terms of the dynamic. And why not bet on it?
Yep.
You're hedging ultimately, right? You're hedging.
I wonder how many of those that have action on this urea market are a urea producer, or like they're hedging they're almost using it like as not crop insurance, but almost as a way to hedge what their core business. Like I'm curious. And I also, if we do get Farouk on next week, the very first question I'm going to ask him is, take me through the urea launch. Who came up with this? Who's sitting in the boardroom one day is like, you know what we need? You know what we're missing? You know what the prediction markets don't have right now is there's no way to bet on cow urine that you can turn into facial moisturizer. This is what we need. Like, and probably 3 out of 4 people in the room probably laughed at them and said, you're crazy. He's like, you know what? I got the code. I'm doing it anyways. And then it becomes their top market. Like, I'm kind of blown away that this is it. We found this today. It is what it is. It's as large as it is. And really curious how they got there. Speaking of prediction markets and big raises, though, probably a little more relevant to the rest of the world anyways, is this Kalshi raise. I said earlier, over $1 billion at a $22 billion valuation. Kalshi's raised more than $1 billion at a $22 billion valuation, doubling its value since just last November. I suspect, because I think the last time in November, I can't remember if Kalshi was first or Polymarket was first, but one of them announced a big raise, and then like within 24 hours, the other one announced a raise that was just slightly bigger. I would not be surprised if we see a Polymarket raise in the next week. The funding highlights continued investor demand for prediction markets despite rising legal challenges and regulatory scrutiny. Prediction market platform Kalshi has raised more than $1 billion in an ongoing round led by Coat Management, probably pronouncing that wrong, valuing the company at $22 billion. According to people familiar with the matter, Wall Street Journal first reported the deal, citing sources who said the financing would total about $1 billion, double the startup's valuation within months. Bloomberg later reported the round surpassed $1 billion, confirming that $22 billion valuation, and that Coates led the role in financing. The new valuation marks a sharp increase from that $11 billion Series E that was in November. The New York-based company operates a federally regulated exchange that allows users to trade contracts tied to outcomes. We all know this. Annualized revenue has a run rate of about $1.5 billion. So they're at 15x-ish. I don't know. The platform serves retail traders, market makers. Growth in institutional participation has helped drive investor interest in the latest round. That's interesting. I want to dive into that at some point. Rapid growth. Yeah, Polymarket both explored fundraising valuations around $20 billion in recent months. Trading volumes. Here is the chart. If you're looking in, you can see that last round in November. Kalshi was doing, this is monthly volume, 5.8 billion in November. Man, this is just wild. Thinking back at like, they weren't even scratching the surface during that. You know what's going to be bonkers is the 2028 presidential election. I can't even imagine like what sort of volume we're going to see there, because that's kind of what kicked this whole thing off. And you can see it doesn't even go back that far, but it was a drop in the bucket to the volume they're doing now. So it went from So in November, Polymarket was doing 4.3 billion. Kalshi was 5.8 billion. In February, Polymarket did 7.94 billion. Kalshi did 10.44 billion. And with 10 days to go in March, Polymarket's at 6.72, Kalshi's at 7.28. Congratulations. You know what? Well overdue. I do have several contacts at Kalshi. I got to think about Polymarket. Does anyone have a contact at Polymarket? If so, let me know in the DMs. I would like to get one, if not both, them on. I think actually I got solicited for the Polymarket badge a while back and did the pass, but would probably be overdue to get someone on the show. I actually did cold DM Shane, the founder of Polymarket, before they're coming, like well before the 2024 election cycle went crazy. And one of the few people that just ignored me, never got back to me, but that would have been a nice get early on. That said, the industry is certainly booming, not going anywhere. I just think for the startups, Myriad Market, and anyone else trying to compete with those two giants, is you got to find a niche. You can't go toe to toe with them. They're going to out resource you. To the earlier point, there is no moat. If you have if something really takes off, you got to have some differentiating factor. And being on chain, I don't think is enough by itself. But find markets they don't have. Use that to acquire customers. Use that to gain some distribution, and then maybe find a way to keep those customers sticky. Might I suggest a loyalty rewards program, some sort of user incentives. Like once you get those Urea bettors on your site, how do you keep them? How do you get them then to bet on other markets that they maybe could also go? Because I'll say, like, I used to do Polymarket and Kalshi. Now I'm almost exclusively Kalshi, probably a miss, because if there ever is a Polymarket airdrop, I'm not going to be, my volume's shifted nearly 100% over to Kalshi, because they both, for all intents and purposes, they have all the same markets, and I can use the Kalshi app here in Florida. It's easier. The app's snappy, it's quick, it's easy. And I don't have a need to, the right answer is probably build a bot that's always making sure I'm getting the best price comparing the two of them. It's just I'm not doing enough volume or putting enough at risk to really make that worthwhile. Can Myriad Mesh ask, can Myriad compete with Opinion Slabs who are already on BNB? So that was the other one. So we were talking earlier, who was the other prediction market on BNB? Maybe. I mean, at least in certain markets they don't have. And on a serious note, Urea works well. Used it to treat, had to use it to treat a fungal infection in the abstract chat. So the Egyptians used dung to treat wounds. Didn't work so well for them though. I also saw someone yesterday was using leeches to remove microplastics. Again, please, I'm not a doctor. Speak to your dermatologist, speak to your doctor before you do any of this stuff. I'm just sharing what I see on the internet. It's got to be true, right? Whew. And now we're talking about eating roadkill and cooking with cow urine, all kinds of fun stuff. It is, this is, I don't know how we land on these types of conversations on Friday, but it's almost without fail. This is where our
my spaces go off the rails on Friday.
What is it, man? Like
I don't know.
It's like without fail, Friday gets. I mean, we don't talk about cow urine on your face every Friday, but it's usually
just a free for all, man. It's like whatever. It's like, I think just letting go for the week. If there's no big news happening, you just kind of go with the flow.
I'm gonna stick with the prediction market theme. I do want to talk about shape a little bit. we may or may not get, but sorry for anyone tuned into YouTube because of the title. My apologies. I really wasn't trying to clickbait you with Claude killed OpenClaw. The quick flyer there, Claude introduced basically all the OpenClaw features now. So you don't need your Mac Mini for everyone that bought one of those. You can still use it. I'm sure it's still valuable. And if you're using it all the time, you might run into rate limits and stuff, but $20 to $200 plan, you're probably good for most people. But yeah, Claude continues to level up their game. The thing I did want to talk about related to prediction markets is I just saw Bunchy's tweet per This is the first time seeing it per Von Frunten tagged me in the chat. But this is where I was going, was this situation room introduced by Polymarket. Bunchu says, actually, I mean, it's the first time seeing it, so I'm catching this in real time. He says, Polymarket doing what Yuga Labs never would. Says, and this is a quote tweet of Polymarket, says, we're excited to announce the Situation Room by Polymarket coming to Washington, D.C., the world's first bar dedicated to monitoring the situation. I think it's brilliant. Imagine a sports bar just for situation monitoring, live X feeds, flight radar, Bloomberg terminals, Polymarket screens. Grand opening is this Friday. So today, this opens in Washington, D.C., the Situation Room. We'll see you all there tonight. 11 a.m. to close. I'm sorry, 8 p.m. to close tonight. And then over the weekend, 11 a.m. to close. I'm not joking. I think it's brilliant. I think it's going to crush. So much so, I wasn't kidding. I shot my shot. I quote tweeted this and said, if they're looking to scale this thing, I would get back into franchising for this. I would do it on the come. I'd help them with the help of Claude. I'd help them draft their first version of their FDD and their ops manual, to which they'd have their high-paid attorneys sign off on and put the finishing touches on. But I would love to help scale this. And I hadn't even put the thoughts together until Bunchu's tweet here. But my follow-up with, I mentioned I was talking with some of the leadership in the DMs. I'm going to tell them, like, guys, do this, lean into this. Like, you don't have to call it the Situation Room. It's going to be the clubhouse. But yeah, like the concept hits. It's, look at the volume that Kaushi and Polymarket are doing. Maybe what I'm going to suggest you could do, don't front me here, reach out to Kaushi, form a partnership. Maybe it's, again, you can't call it the Situation Room now, but monitor the situation powered by Kaushi at the Yuga Clubhouse. Like this, there's something here. I think this is going, and also if you're new here, I'm extremely bullish on experiential retail, real live retail. If you're in retail, there's got to be some community element. There has to be something that the robots can't replace. People love community. I've talked about like the non-alcoholic bars, and they're exploding in this area of Florida. They're everywhere, and they're packed most of the time. People from it's like coffee shop-esque in the morning to bars in the evening, and very vibrant crowds, very strong communities. I think the same thing on this sports betting, the prediction market space. Like, yeah, can we all do this from our homes? Sure. But sports bars exist. Like the proof of concept exists. You're just leveling up the sports bar. You're evolving the sports bar and bringing in the technology. This is how you win in retail, is you take the brick and mortar, the human connection, and you layer on top of it, or you bake into it the on-chain, the on the internet stuff we can do at home, but allow us to do that amongst our friends. It's a lot more fun to sweat a prediction market. It's a lot more fun to sweat March Madness outcome in a sports bar or with a group of friends than it is to do so just sitting in your office at home. Like I really think they're onto something with the situation room. And yeah, if you happen to anyone on the team, either team. So if Kaushi, if you want to compete and go toe to toe with them, hit me up. I would work on the come. I don't need any salary. I would go, well, let's scale this thing. It'd be fun. And someone's going to do it. At this point, likely it's Polymarket that does it. I just realized I have a yesterday's hoodie still in the background. My apologies. Good, great background. My bad, Payne. Diego, Ola, again, what brought you up this time?
Hey, Cap. Thank you. No, I just was curious. I see Scotty in the audience. Maybe if he can give us some hints.
Who's that?
Sit. Scotty from Sit.
Oh, Scotty. Yeah, absolutely. If you're welcome to join us. No obligations, but we do have I know we had Pawns on not too long ago, but we are due an update now that Zeta is live. And yeah, Scotty, if you want to jump up, you're welcome. If not, let's maybe connect, see if we can get you and or Pawns on next week. Also, not just Zeet. I sent out a post yesterday. I'll share it now on the show. I know we talked about the bearish bracket, the abstract madness. Big fan, like really well done. The site, it just worked great, looks great. They did these March Madness excuse me, Abstract Madness tournaments, Abstract Madness brackets. I don't want to get the DMCA from the NCAA. But I said it yesterday, I'm not in the bearish ecosystem yet, but I am a big fan of the team in the community. Again, hat tip to the permanent bearish bull general, the general, who's always like usually one of the first in the Coffee with Captain audience, maybe only second to Mel down there, and every day promoting the bearish buy of the day. Just wanted to give them some flowers. Not only did they build these fun brackets, this fun competition. A lot of them these were all. I think I paid for one of these. The rest were free to get into and could win real prizes. But they're driving on-chain activity. They're driving exactly what Abstract is asking, what they want to see. And we talked yesterday, like, yeah, you can't reward all the NFT collections. You can't reward people for just going and sweeping the $1 NFT and holding 100 of them, and they end up getting more XP than someone who holds a single bearish. But if I'm Abstract, I want to be rewarding people like the general and other ecosystems like bearish who are very clearly active. They have a very passionate community, and then you have a team that is shipping nonstop, and they did it. Like, so while we were critical of Abstract, and they're still not perfect, they still have some work to do. This is the most recent post from Saigar. This is what NFT boost will look like in the portal in the coming weeks. Each week, holding certain NFTs will make you eligible for a different boost percentage. The screenshot below is just a mock-up. Projects will be eligible based off on-chain data. So I hope it's on-chain data combined with some manual stuff. Like, they don't want to just reward someone that had a ton of data because it was a bunch of wash farming. I think they need to be a little bit selective there. But then the screenshot, if you can see, if you got an active boost holding bearish is 20%. Other communities, not holding Ryu 5%. Like, again, just a mock-up. Final details in place once the feature is fully in place. So stay tuned. Just a sneak peek. I think it's a good move. I think it's a good move. Then I also saw someone say, "Oh, the return of Blast Jackpot is back." And while Blast didn't, I guess it's still a thing. But didn't necessarily post TGE, kind of fizzled pretty quickly. BZ and Fantasy Top and others moved off chain. Now I think about the only thing done on Blast is you can earn some passive yield on stables. I think I've
already said it, Cap. I've already seen 2 brands announce no creator fees anymore on Abstract on OpenSea, and they're going to try and encourage volume, and they're going to try, and they're already doing giveaways as well. And these are brands I haven't seen post in quite a while. So it's like
they're basically going to do that to Wash Farm, basically. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but we don't know what the metrics are. I mean, I'm literally typing a post right now trying to get feedback on how they're going to do this. But how are they going to keep it fair? Is the same brand going to be able to repeat week after week, being the number one? Are they going to base it on different metrics? And then if that brand qualifies, based on the different things, I'm looking at owner distribution, I'm looking at volume, I'm looking at floor price. Like, there's a lot of different things that they could weigh in to see who the top one is. And then say 10 of those brands qualify. Then randomly just pick one of the 10 that qualify and hit the target that Abstract sets? Like, how is it going to be determined? Because if not, one community could literally just sit there and create enough volume with agents that Abstract's encouraging to get on chain. They could create enough volume and provide liquidity and just hit that top spot every time. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do this.
I agree. Scotty, truly, no pressure today, but I'd like to get you guys up for like a full interview. We've got about 15 minutes left on this Friday show. But yeah, I would love to get you all on next week if we can, if it works for you all, or if there's a better date, if you got something, a new update or new announcement, and we could go either angle. We can go ZEET, we can go bearish. Really overdue on the bearish front. So maybe we double dip. I will defer to all of you. I've been told I need to ask you about your start in Web3. There's a sports angle I'll enjoy. And here you're notorious for dropping alpha. So you're getting, I say no pressure, but you're getting pressure from the chat.
Hey, Cap, no pressure on you. I picked up 3 more of your cards yesterday, bro. Hey. So you better go hard in the paint here.
I need to pick up some more of my own cards. I guess, in serious question, we've not hit the next phase yet, right? It's still like collect and trade and speculate mode.
Yeah, bro. Scotty's polishing his golf clubs. Fucking Pons is like reorganizing his cigar case. Like these guys, I don't know what they're doing. And Pons teased like some article coming on squads this week, I thought. But like, he's MIA. I don't know. I'm trying to bait Scotty to come on stage.
Yeah, so no active tournaments yet. Still collect and position yourself for when things do get kicked off. See, I should go pick up some more of my cards. Cool Chick asked what cards? The Zeek cards. The Zeek creator cards are live. We gave several away. We had 24 gave away, and then those you could mint your packs. You could exchange your Zeet or burn your Zeet for packs, and there will be all kinds of stuff coming down the road in terms of tournaments, and where both creators as well as holders of those cards will be able to participate. Just they're holding the details close to chest. I don't blame them. But yeah, I'm excited. I truly am really excited for what they have to come. I am also a Zeet advisor, but so just in effort of full transparency and disclosure, I am, because I was impressed with how they were differentiating themselves in the InfoFi space, and even more so where I'm not saying the others have just closed up shop, but to me, my perspective, albeit acknowledging my bias, they are really doing some things differently and not just, crying because X nerfed the APIs. I saw an idiot flew up here. The other thing I put in the title on X is the Shape TGE. They did TGE yesterday. Chart doesn't look great. I don't really have a whole lot else to add. I know there's an art piece you can mint, or if you stake, I got to go way back in the chat here. Dort was educating me. You can stake some token and get to mint a piece of art. I guess where I wanted to, it's about $400. So you can lock up 360,000 shape to mint your maximal. It's about $400 right now. Cool art, but it is AI, and that bothers some people. Quoting Dort here. I think this isn't fun. I'm just commenting. The token TG did not go well. My point is, like, I don't blame any of these teams for delaying their TG. Tying that together earlier to the whole, I was thinking Q1 would be jump started by the Mega ETH, the Abstract, the OpenSea, the MetaMask TGEs. It's just not the right time. It's tough, and everyone who's TGE'd right now is feeling the pain of market conditions. But this is the, I guess, Dort, my quick question, I can see if I can find it here live, but my quick question would be, so there's been 266 of 3,141 is the supply, 266 have been claimed so far. Is the only way to claim these is you lock the 360,000 shape? Is there, I'm guessing there's no USD mint option. I'm guessing you got to buy the stake or buy the shape, excuse me, and then stake it. Art's not, I mean, I don't mind AI art personally. Maybe we wrap with the Doodles studio conversation I flew over yesterday, but I don't mind AI art. I want my questions would be, before I go spend $400 on any piece of art, is there anything else there? Is it just art, or are they building something around the art? Perfectly fine to collect art you like. I'm not in the mode of collecting $400 plus pieces of art without any other potential utility or upside, or just me. It's just where I'm at personally. Speaking of the Claude killing OpenClaw, Von Frunten, who is a user, says Claude still relies entirely on Anthropic products. I agree. The only thing about OpenClaw is that I can API into anything. I use the combo of Claude and Gemini based on use case. That's valuable. Can plug in many services via API instead of browser control. Still have full access to Claude Code as well. Fair. And also showed some pretty good images of Doodles AI that he's having fun with. Anidia, I see you jumped up. Before I go to Anidia, I am going to ask the chat, what if Polymarket does not want to partner up and doesn't want help scaling their prediction, or sorry, their situation room, what should we call our competing bar, which will have some non-alcoholic drinks, and certainly we'll be baking in prediction market stuff. We've got some suggestions. Some said just call it the War Room. We also have, I'm trying to get back in the chat here. Monitor, just call it one word. That's not bad. Prediction Market Pub. I'm a fan of alliteration. That's a good one. Get a free rect if you get liquidated lime. That's definitely a must. We will be if we do this competing situation monitoring bar, we will absolutely have some liquidated lime in there. That's a great call, Mayhem. Ticker Tape Tavern. Any other suggestions for what we should call our competing war room? That said, an idiot GM, what brought you up this morning?
I was just you guys were talking about the NFT bonuses on Abstract. I was just going to say, there's a lot of potential for this to be really cool. There's some potential for it to maybe go wrong. In the earliest days, it was kind of spelled out a little bit. I wish I could remember by who, but the XP basically was based on, a rank order of who did the most volume. The collections that did the most volume got the biggest piece of the overall XP that was going to go to NFTs, right? I think the problem that they ran into is they didn't really have a cutoff. So even though a project that didn't do a lot of volume maybe got less XP, you could, like we discussed yesterday, you could just stack hundreds and hundreds of them, and you still got something for each one. I think if they make it kind of random from one week to another, I think there's potential for people's floors to get wrecked as people rotate from one to another, depending on which one is at the highest percentage bonus each week. So I don't know. I mean, what I'm hoping, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe there's some flaws in this theory, but I'm hoping that they just do it kind of similarly. Like whatever project has the most volume, gets the biggest percentage, and obviously there will be people that try to game that system, right? There'll be people that try to wash trade collections that don't necessarily have any real team or anything, but they don't have a royalty, so you can wash trade them the whole way up. I think it kind of needs to be based off volume, but also have the option for the teams to the team at Abstract to kind of manually make some decisions too if there is some nefarious action afoot. That was all I was going to say.
Yeah, no,
and AI art. I don't mind AI art, but there has to be a founder there too, right? I got to have something to believe in here other than just the art. I'm not just going to buy the AI art. There's plenty of good art where I can support a real artist. But AI art doesn't put me off as long as there's an ecosystem or something going on too.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I actually kind of enjoy some AI art, especially ones that you can just get AI slop, like someone just throws a single prompt into their favorite LLM and it's just whatever. You have others that you can build some really cool algorithmic AI stuff. There's just lean into the tech. Good example, or build some fun mechanics like Death and Taxes. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Death and Taxes was one that is AI art, but there's a lot more to it. Normies was another one, I think. I could be mistaking one of those, but make it more than just the art. Build some fun game theory, some burn mechanics, do something with it, and that it'll catch my interest at least.
Well, even if you're going to do an AI studio, there's a I don't want to say kid, but I guess I'm getting to be unk mode enough. But there's a guy probably in his early 20s, host spaces named Burden, and he's firing up this thing called Sword AI. And it's kind of cool, it's the whole premise is creative, making a creator, a set of creator tools for people that want to kind of make their own AI anime kind of stuff, right? So I don't know, I think dragging your feet on AI art for too long is just going to leave a lot of people kind of in the past. I mean, there used to your favorite animes used to involve hundreds of illustrators, if not thousands of people illustrating these animes. And then, people came in and started making these things in computers, not using AI, but using, a digital platform to create these things. And then, a lot of people, a lot of animators and illustrators that were, hand artists got put out of work. And I think that's going to happen again with AI here to the people who resist it too much. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think AI art's fine as long as there's a lot of creativity being put into it, and whoever's doing it has a real vision. I'm not just going to buy an AI PFP if that's the only point, though.
Yeah, I'm with you. Especially if it's several $100s. Yeah, I need something more to capture my interest. Teach their own. Do what you want. But yeah, I would be. I'm looking for Burden's post because Mayhem agrees with you. He said he shared it. I missed it yesterday, but he said he shared it. It's pretty good. SWRDAI. Just gave that a follow. I'll flash it up here real quick. And we follow each other, but I don't know if we've ever interacted other than in some group chats. So I will, if anyone has wants to do I'll just DM him. We'll see if we can get him on next week as well. And inviting anyone who's interested in the future of the industry, join our open community. Please post below for more information. It's just the beginning. It says, welcome to Sword, the future of AI anime. We've created this open community to gather the pioneers of the industry. It's an invitation. It doesn't matter if this is your first time creating anime content. What matters is that you're early and you're willing to build. This is a team before anything else, original work only. We're sharing our workflows and evolving with you in real time, tracking major updates, experimenting with new tools, and refining our prompt systems and creative workflows as we grow. Custom tools coming soon. The Discord is live.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it's not a shill. I have no idea if there's any monetization to that or not. I haven't looked super into it. I'm just aware of Burden. He's a good dude. He hosts some interesting spaces.
Yep,
so,
agreed. And what I would say is, if you're interested, if you see what most of us see here about where AI is heading, the future of AI, and believing it would benefit you to learn more skills, to improve your skills, to enhance your skills. You can do it solo and then ask Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok help in learning. One of them, I think Claude, actually has a tutor mode that specifically will act like an educator and help you learn stuff. That said, a lot of people it's more fun to do in group. And not like say a cheesy group project, but to learn with others and have other humans you can bounce ideas off of and share your work with. So especially if you're into anime, probably a good one to join and jump in. And even if there's nothing to monetize, you could be learning new skills that 6 months, a year down the road could come to benefit you well. Last topic of the day, and then we'll let everyone get out of here. I did see this yesterday. I joked. There was a big squiggle sweep after I mentioned it on the show, and it was looking like a snack down in the 2.5s, maybe even sub 2.5. The next day, it was up then 20%. Someone had swept, I think, 20 of them. I was joking. Wonder if it was, and actually Steve joked. He said he was looking at him too, talking with Claude. Claude talked him off of buying one. Knowing his financial goals wasn't the right decision. And then we joked, wondered if Claude actually talked him out of the squiggle sweep and then went and swept them themselves. Artblocks did introduce the Artblocks MCP server. Any AI agent can now discover, browse, and collect from 500 plus on-chain generative projects, plus countless other possibilities. Check out potential use cases for collectors, artists, and researchers and developers. Collector's agent, find every project under 0.1, minting on base. Verify my allow list eligibility for upcoming releases. Compare my holdings to top collectors on a project. Watch a Dutch auction and mint when it hits my price. The artist agent, pull up a holder list and find my super fans, 3 or more pieces collected. See how many collectors are configuring post params on my tokens. Check mint velocity on my latest drop versus the last 3. Start a new project with P5JS and post params ready to go. The researcher's agent, query the entire AB catalog by trait, chain, artist, and mint date. Find every project using a specific dependency. See what percentage of mints are happening on Base versus Ethereum. Access GraphQL for deep research traffic, and the full suite for developers. 18 tools, full graph, OAuth, build a collector agent, a gallery curation bot, whatever you want. The skill repo teaches your agent how to use these skills. Pretty cool. I'll pin this up top if you missed it. I'm just going to say, not to keep going back to the glory days, man, how fun would it have been to have this stuff that we have today with AI back in the NFT heyday? That alone has me not just the gains, but it would be fun to have an actual real second NFT season. Not saying it would be like the first, but it would be fun to incorporate these tools that, from a research standpoint, from getting it was just it would unlock a whole new realm of opportunity. And yeah, I don't know if I'll play around with these Art Blocks agents or not, but neat
I
stuff.
agree, Captain. I would personally release COVID B2 from Wuhan to have another NFT season.
I'm not saying that, but
just kidding. Just kidding.
Anything outside of a global pandemic. I did see someone say, just everyone stay in your homes for the next 2 weeks. We don't use any oils. Let's get this will get the strait reopened. Yeah, I hope it's no global catastrophe that ignites NFT season 2. But man, it was fun, and man, it would be a lot of fun with the tools and resources we have today at our disposal. I mean, there was tools out there. A lot of the tools back in the day, like we were paying hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a month for collectively. And yes, I know you're going to pay for your AI models today, but yeah, nothing like what we have today existed back then. Both from
even just with like Grok. I mean, you can do so much just with Grok without paying for anything other than a blue check mark on X. That makes it a lot more fun. You can do a lot with these. Buy these PFPs, and you used to just have them. Now you can actually create with them. It would be a lot of fun.
Exactly. Think about, I mean, from like the research, the buying, the flipping, all the stuff I just rattled off. And then not to mention like from a community building and an IP proliferation, we're talking Doodles AI Studio, like that tool, like what does the Doodles journey look like if that existed back in 2022? Like maybe it doesn't change anything, but you would certainly, I think, see a lot more of cool, unique stuff on the timeline. I think of like Clone X, and they had a lot of great 3D designers and 3D artists in their community, and you saw a lot of custom art and cool stuff on the timeline. We had, Rita with I'm drawing a blank on his company's name, OG Ape, and G's on Ape founder. He's a brilliant 3D modeler, and so he's brought Dashbow and a lot of the other cool tools to that ecosystem. There's just so much more today when you talk about like community and and I know we still can do it today. It's just the difference between like, I don't know, 5 to 10,000 active participants in this world to 500,000 active participants in this world back at the Pico top. Yeah. Anyways, I'll get off my trip down memory lane and a little nostalgic stuff. But in all seriousness, cool tool from Art Blocks. Thanks for sharing, Hizzy. Appreciate everyone who joined the stage today. As always, Shalom, appreciate you being up here. Great to hear your voice here as of late. Scotty, as we send you out of here, I'd love to get you, the team, on to talk both Bearish and or Zeet at some point next week if it works for your guys' schedule, or if there's a later date that makes more sense just from a launch standpoint. Open invite. Cheese and an Idiot, they got their space coming up in about an hour. If you're looking for some more Web3 content, I'll be reaching out to Farouk and see if we can get them on next week, as well as I think I'll probably follow back up with the Yuga team. I'm going to suggest hey, let's go compete with Polymarket. Let's find a way to bring situation monitoring into the clubhouse in Miami, and then let's scale that thing. With that, it's Friday. Go have some fun. If you're a college basketball fan, enjoy the tournament. Hopefully you still have a perfect bracket. Mine is far from perfect. I think my best one in those like 8 bearish brackets I showed, I think my best one is like 67% accurate. Not great. Probably already drawing dead there. But have some fun. And we'll be back Monday, 8 a.m. Eastern time. If you happen to just find us this week, thanks so much for tuning in. We do go live on this app, YouTube, and X Video and Abstract at 8 a.m. Eastern time. We're live from 8 to 10 a.m. Eastern. Go hit our newsletter. Well, I'd love the YouTube sub. If you're still here, go smash that like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I would also ask that you, if you've not yet, go subscribe to our newsletter. Just go to coffeewithcaptain.com, drop your email there. We don't spam you. You only get 1 email a week. It's kind of a recap on the week. If you missed any shows, there's links to all the shows. There's our community poll, and we will be awarding our community member of the month for March on next Friday, and then kicking off a fun new weekly giveaway to a live listener. We'll kick that off next week as well. So thanks so much for y'all being here this week. I appreciate it very much. It was an awesome week. It was good, both yesterday and today. A lot of participation from the community. Those make my days and my funnest shows. While I did enjoy the interview with Adam on Tuesday, if you missed that, I did pin that up top. He went deep into all. We asked him every OpenSea question regarding C that we got. Appreciate him meeting it head on and taking some taking a few arrows for the team and answering things and respect. But that's up top. While as much as I enjoyed that interview and that show, I really do enjoy these. We started as a Spaces Only show. The social audio is what drew me in, and they are some of my favorite, if not my favorite, shows we have. So I truly appreciate y'all for participating today. Whether you came up on stage or you participate in the chat, it means a lot, goes a long way, and it makes this very much enjoyable. With that, hope you all have a wonderful Friday and enjoy your weekends, everyone. We'll see you Monday.